Hey, hi everyone, good afternoon. Thanks for joining in. I am Saransh and I am the product evangelist at Ozontel. We will be starting in another couple of minutes once we have a few more people join in, and then we'll start in another 2 or 3 minutes. We'll start. Again, thanks for joining in.
Oh,
Hi everyone, good afternoon once again. Uh, for those who've joined a little later, I'll just quickly introduce myself once again. My name is Saranj, and I am the product evangelist at OzoneTel. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Uh, we will just begin this webinar very shortly. We have a couple of more people joining in, and this webinar will largely be focusing on the transition to OzoneTel's new UI, and we'll be taking you through, everything, the philosophy behind it, the process, and everything. And keep there's a request to keep this session as interactive as possible. Keep posting your questions, and we'll answer each and every one of your question at the end. So please keep posting your questions on the chat, and we'll be happy to answer all of them. For this session, we have our senior product manager Pranay Kumar as the speaker for today. I think Pranay, we can start the session.
okay. Hey, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining um, the call. I think we're good to start, right, Saransh?
Yeah, we're good to start.
Okay. So I will share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So the actual agenda behind this particular webinar was we did have some sessions that we did previously, start of 2024 in the first quarter, where we walked through our newer interface. We wanted you guys to start using it. At that point in time, it was more towards beta, and mid of this year we actually launched. We did send out communication emails to everyone. So the process is that we are going to end the support for the existing product that you're accessing some by March 31st, 2025, and then we are going to only use this CX Hub, which is the newer platform. Now, so three parts which are important to take away as part of this webinar. One will be what are we trying to do here? Why are we actually doing it in the first place? And what are the actions that needs to be taken from your side from an adoption standpoint? Okay, so let me try to talk about what are we trying to do. All right, so you might have been seeing our LinkedIn content and various presentations that we are doing across in our marketing events. We are working on building the one CXI platform, which will be your one stop place for all CX related solutions, including of what we have and the newer ones that we are trying to build as part of the process. This 1CXA platform will have a lot more AI capabilities added into it, including into the existing dialer solution, which is our cloud agent. We have a lot more products that we are coming up, and all of these accessible through just that one CXI platform, which will have the exact user experience like what we are now referring to as the new UI and the UX for the application. And that is the reason we want customers to know more about it, to start using it, and please pass on your feedback as much as possible. We are all open to hear about and solve any of the pain points that you're facing. But it is not just also about this. The 1CXA platform is also a lot more, is expected to a lot more perform a lot more better and faster. Okay, the existing, this is the transition, the existing CCaaS solution, which is the cloud agent that you are currently accessing in in-ccas.ozontel.com, which you are used to. From here, you are going to come into the one CXA platform, which will have much better user experience. You will have updated technology stack, updated security standards, because we are using all sorts of latest technologies to build the applications and the backend systems as well. As I mentioned earlier, you will have a lot more AI capabilities inbuilt into it. Like for example, you will have auto summarization of a conversation, you will have detection of a sentiment of a conversation, all those things added into the product, for which the same UI UX will be applicable. And in fact, we stopped adding any sort of additional features into the existing CCAS interface, the cloud agent that you're currently using, about a year back. And we've been vocally communicating in all our events, in all our communications that we are sending out to you guys, that there will be no new features that will be supported in the existing interface. The new 1CXI platform, which I will walk through about 5 or 10 minutes, that will have, that already has a lot more features when compared to the existing CCAS, which means it has already created an opportunity cost for you by not utilizing it to improve your business operations. Now, what are the features that I know there are a lot of features that have been added into it. I didn't want to actually go through each and every feature, but what we've done is we've actually bundled these features into specific buckets. Okay, and try to, wanted to talk about these are specifically available only in the newer interface, which we are referring to as the 1CXI. So let me actually show that so that everybody is in sync with what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is the newer interface that we've been referring to during my presentations and even in our earlier communications. We have a lot more flexibility. I think we already did a webinar. If you go to a documentation portal, which is our docs.ozontel.com, and here you should definitely see this masterclass series down here. When you click on view more, you will have introduction to new dashboards. This was one session. At that point in time, this was a beta user experience. This was one session. If you can just click here, we did a detailed walkthrough about each of these elements of what is the new dashboards, where do you get the existing options that you're currently using in the interface versus where are the options in the new 1CXI UI UX look and feel. Okay, so you can refer to that. Definitely, we have it already posted in our documentation portal. That will be one stop place where you will keep getting updates. But this is the new look and feel. Everything will be added into these interface only. All right, now having said that, so from the bucket of features, one, we added a lot of compliance related features like listed down here. We also added some productivity enhancements. Actually, I think some of you might already know, but if you don't know, DNC regulation, which is you're not calling outside the regulated hours to your customers, that is built into the new application. Outbound restrictions, we now have the option to restrict the number of calls to a specific customer across all the campaigns in a particular day. So you cannot call one specific customer more than configurable number of days. That can be 3, 5, 6, whatever you configure. We also support full call recording options right from the time the call is initiated, from the ringing sound till the end. You can actually record the entire call for you to audit as well. Then you can play disclaimer messages. So these are all the compliance bucket related features that are available only in the newer interface. Some of it might still be there in the older ones, but a lot of it are there only here in the newer interface. From with respect to productivity, we have the option of dynamic DID, which is for a specific campaign you can keep rotating the calls from different DIDs. This was something that we added a year before. Redialing a call in case a lot of your customers might get disconnected, or by mistake the agent disconnects the call. There is a possibility that you will have to reach out to your customers. This was not an option previously. You had to manually dial the call. Right now you'll be able to immediately redial the call quickly after the call gets disconnected. Then the most important feature, continuous bargain. I think this is actually a differentiator, because we are uh, we are able to connect a supervisor to barge into the call as real time as possible. So this is again another important feature from both productivity and quality monitoring aspects. Okay, so these set of features that I'm talking about are available only here in this interface. Most of it will not be available. In fact, all of it will not be available in the older interface. Right. Moving to the next set, which is the operational efficiency. Like we now have, if you observed here, if I just log out, we have the option right now to SIP login and do a phone login. For SIP login, we no longer need you to enter a SIP number, which was the case earlier. So now the allocation of a SIP ID or a SIP number from your list of SIP numbers associated to your account is not manually done. It is automatically done by the system. So that way, it reduces a lot of your administrative overload. So that again is available only in the in the newer interface here. If I just open up the older interface, if you see here, you still have to enter the number here, whether it is SIP or a phone number. In case of SIP here, you don't need to enter the SIP number. You can directly log in without entering the SIP number. So that's one benefit. IVR checkpoint data. So a lot of you might want to know where the customer came through which menu to the agent. So that option is again available only in the new CX. You will now be able to track what journey your customer has taken in the IVR, and show it on the agent toolbar right away, so that your agent gets a context of what this customer might be looking for. All right. Next thing is call controllers. Again, this was a long pending ask from a lot of our customers, which is they wanted a granular control on their agents, because it could be misused, some of these call controllers. So if you look at it right now, you will, in fact, if you add an agent, you now have the option to check or uncheck, or rather enable or disable any of the call controller settings that was previously available for the agent by default. Now you have a lot more control and flexibility to give the specific call controls for your agents. This is again available only in the newer interface. Holiday management, yet another operational thing which was super important. Lot of these campaigns, we you guys had to manually switch them off on a holiday, on an August 15th or a January 26th in the Indian context, because you cannot call the customers on that particular day based on whatever domain you're working on. Hence you had to do that manually. No longer that's the case. You now have the flexibility to define your holidays in the system itself. So I can define my holidays in the system, and the campaign will not dial any outbound calls on that particular day. And this is specifically applicable for outbound, because inbound is still taken care by the IVR system. In the IVR, you obviously have the flexibility of defining which is your holiday hours, which is your holidays, and what is your after office hours. So this holidays is specifically applicable only for the outbound campaigns. Now, one more interesting thing that we've done in the that we've added as a capability is, if you just open up any campaign here and go and edit, okay, so you have something called work hours schedule. Okay, now what this does is, usually previously we only had one runtime defined for the campaigns. That is, a campaign can run from 8 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening, or 11 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. in the evening. But usually businesses need flexibility to run campaigns at multiple slots of the day, based on when the business is usually getting high demand, right? You don't need to call your customers in the low peak times, or in the later evening hours where there is sorry, in the early morning hours where there is less probability of customers picking it. And hence we've given the flexibility now to pick any day of the week. All right, and you can set whatever times of the day, and in fact you can set multiple times of the day. Like for example, in my case here, I'm gonna set like 2 a.m. for example. I'm just randomly picking out to, right, at 7. So I can do that, and I can also give another slot. So that could be probably 9 in the morning till, let's assume 9 in the morning to 10, for example. Right, so this way you can set multiple slots of a week. I can set another slot for let's say Saturday specifically, if I believe Saturday 8 to 10 in the morning makes more sense. So you should be able to schedule this, and this flexibility is available only in the newer interface for you. Okay, so this was more focus. A lot of the features focus on this particular theme was on improving the operational efficiency, where whether it comes from automatically allowing the agents to log in without entering the SIP numbers, or giving the flexibility to see the contextual journey of the agent, of the customer, before connecting to the agent, or giving a lot more flexibility for you to run your campaigns on a specific day and specific slots of a day. Also on the call controller options for these agents. Now, apart from this, we also had some focus on security and integration related. When it comes to security, number masking, previously we only had the option of masking the entire number of all the 10-digit numbers. Now you actually have a flexibility here. So if you go to the settings here, right, you can see show customer number from last n numbers. So whatever number you define here, the last, in this case the last four numbers will be shown, much similar like your Aadhaar card, and mask only the first six digits, and we are showing only the last four digits. So it is basically flexible on your end to configure it irrespective of whichever format is applicable in your context, right? Again, operationally, some more updates, which is from an integration standpoint. If we go here, we've done this operational integrations, which is cloud storage. This is another important aspect. Now you can actually schedule any of your reports, push to the cloud storage of your choice. We are currently supporting AWS S3, Azure, and GCP as the cloud storages from the front end itself. For this, you will have to create one connection first in the system. To which cloud storage are you do you want? For example, if I go to admin here, and no, one second. Oh yeah. If you have to create the connection here, which is which system. So if I click on new connection here, you have the AWS, you have the Google Cloud Storage, you have the Azure. You can pick and choose any of the provider of your choice to store or schedule your reports, and you should be able to create a connection. This connection is only establishing the communication between our product and the storage of your choice. And like you used to schedule it, if I go to custom reports and click on reports list, scheduled reports, and click on schedule here, you just need to give a job name, and you will see type in cloud. You will see all the reports that are supported for the cloud storage push. Like for example, agent breaks, right? I can select a cloud storage, and I can select a connection name. This connection is the communication that you created previously, as I showed you, between our product and your storage, right? So once you select this, you should be able to push the report of your choice to that particular cloud storage system. Again, this previously was the turnaround time was very high, because we used to you used to connect with the account manager, and the account manager used to raise a ticket with us. Our delivery team used to work along with the product integrations team. We used to build it and then give it. So now this entire turnaround time is cut down by almost 80%. The only initial efforts would be to create that connection between once. That is one time job. Once you set that up, then automatically you should be able to push any reports of your choice that are available there on the drop down, and push it to your cloud storage systems. Okay, so these are all the features that have been built into the newer interface already, and we have a lot more long list of exciting features that we are adding, including opening up omni-channel communication, which is until now you were only able to either take a call or a chat on our in our product at a single instance. Going forward, you will have the flexibility to take both of them. If based on your defined process or requirements, whatever it is, you will have the flexibility to take both the calls, voice calls, and chat channels, be it a web chat or a WhatsApp, into on the agent toolbar, and the agent can do multitasking in both of these things. All right, so this is at this point in time, I know we are about 24 minutes into the presentation. I just want to take a pause and see, stop sharing for a minute and see if you've got any questions here. Okay, so I'll take the first question in order. Aniket, how to call on DND numbers with 140 series? I think that's something that you'll have to talk to our delivery team. We have the operations team, because this is a topic of discussion. Our delivery team can definitely help you on that, on how you can do that, where are you allowed to do that or not. Just write an email, and Saransh, just loop in Saransh, and we will also we will tag you to the right contact to get in touch and see if there's any reason why there is a delay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Aniket, I'll connect with you after the webinar and we'll sort this.
Yeah. Aroha Kashyap, how can we add the agent pop URL and call logs URL for CRM integration in admin settings? Is there? You should. It is the same as we did earlier. I don't know. Is it because you haven't used the Aroha? I think you haven't used the interface. Is that why a question came in, or for CRM integrations we usually have the parameters mapping here. Just give me 1 second. I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah, so these are all the parameters in terms of call log and screen pop. They should ideally be as part of the standard integration. Rest of the mapping of which fields is available on the UI. Still have any issue there, you can just raise a ticket and support. We can take it as a feedback if that's not available and get it added, but otherwise it should come as a standard thing.
Yeah, I think Pranay, we can move forward. There are no more questions for now.
Okay, just all right. In general, I also wanted to these were some of the things that we wanted to walk you through. What we are adding is a lot more into this interface, as I was speaking about. The reports and everything are here, like both the live and historic reports are now available under one login in the newer interface. This was not the case earlier. If you look at it, previously you used to click on report login for historical reports and dashboard login for the current day reports. That is not the case here. You just log in as an administrator and you will have the option to access both reports and dashboards. Another important update that I would like to give in the newer interface is the flexibility in terms of creating a sub user. Previously we had the sub administrator defined into the product, which means that there were certain roles and responsibilities. Accordingly the sub administrator was seeing the information. So right now you will have the flexibility to define a profile first. Okay, anything now we've structured it because we want businesses. We think as we're moving towards enterprises, the product also has to get into a structure. So now what we've given is the administrator, which is you, should be able to create a profile for your internal teams. Like for example, we've had requests for internal teams from MIS department who only want access to reports and dashboards and nothing else. We've had requests for operational IT teams who want access only to the configuration systems and not the reports and dashboards. So now you can create a profile for each of these personas based on the internal requirements in the organization. Like here, if you see, you can create your profile name, and let's say I'll give it as MIS. And what we've done is we've given the option to select any of the list that is available under configuration, and you can give either no access, view access, edit access, full access, or you can choose not. If you don't choose the list, then you're technically deciding not to give any access to that particular uh, list. So you can select a list. For example, I'll select campaigns and I will select view access. So this user, once this profile is created, you will tag this profile to a user, which I will show you in a minute. And this user will only be able to view the campaign and cannot do anything in the campaign. He or she cannot change anything in the campaign configuration settings. Okay, so we've given the flexibility to the granular flexibility to give access to anything and everything. Okay, now apart from that, also one more thing is we've also given specific access to this data upload only applicable for campaigns. This access is only applicable for campaigns, meaning you want a particular persona to access your campaigns should not touch anything on the campaigns, but should be able to upload the data only. If that is the role and responsibility, you could still be able to do that. This access will restrict the user to not make any changes on the campaigns except for uploading data into the campaigns. That's the only access he will have with respect to these campaigns. And then dashboards, historic reports, and live reports. Currently, you don't have the flexibility to select a specific report. We will get this done in the coming days. But for now, you have the option to give access to the entire set of feature reports, historic or live, or dashboards, or all of them. So this way, you're creating a profile first. Once you create a profile, you can just create a sub user, and when you create a sub user, you have this access here called configuration access and data access. I would like to spend a couple of minutes because this is an important structure that we've made as a change to the particular sub user going forward. All right, so if I edit here, now you have to select which sub user profile. So for example, I've made a test user, I made a pre-sales test. So these are our default profiles that we made for giving access to particular department. Like if you make an MIS profile, whichever user A, user B, user C is part of that particular profile, he or she can get mapped to this profile, and the accesses that are defined in the profile will be standard for all these users that have been mapped with this profile. Apart from that, we also have configuration access and data access. Quite important to understand this in the context of creating a sub user, which is configuration access is these lists, anything under these configurations like IVR flows, manage numbers, locations, skills, pause reasons, anything and everything. Specifically, we are only worried about campaigns, skills, and agent groups. So if I click on campaigns here, like for example, which campaigns you should see and you should be able to make changes on is decided by this particular configuration access. Okay, so if I just open this up, which skills should the sub user see, which campaigns should the sub user see, and which agent groups should he see in this particular list. So if I click campaigns here, what is the list of campaigns he should see? If I click on skills here, what is the list of skills he should see? So that is defined under the configuration access. Now, when it comes to the reports and the dashboards, whatever data points that you see, like if you want your sub user to see a specific campaign report data on the dashboard, or a specific skills data, or a specific agent groups data, you should be able to configure these three check drop downs here. So you will only see the relevant data points on the reports and on the dashboards. I'm repeating myself here that configuration access is only for you to see which items in the list, in the campaigns list, in the skills list, and in the agent groups list will you see. But when it comes to data access, whose data should you see on the reports and dashboards is what you will see, and you will be able to configure under this particular data access. Once you set this up, this will give you a complete flexibility whether you want your sub users or supervisors or this profile to access only reports, only dashboards, or configure and change different skills, but still see the data for different skills. It's completely up to the flexibility, requirement in your context. Okay. Any questions here? And just pause. I think we did have some questions. How can we edit the agent ID in the new platform? Okay. So the way that you can edit an agent ID is, agent form basically. So if I select any of the agents, so I'll pick this agent here, right? So you click edit here, you can change any of the agent modes. You click edit here, you change any of the call controller settings, and you click edit here, skills. And if you click on this three dots, you have edit basic info. Here you can make changes to your name, whatever is applicable in this, but the personal information or the basic information for this particular agent. So that's available here in the edit basic info. That is where you edit.
Pranay, we have a couple of questions in the Q&A tab as well.
Okay, let me take those. Okay, Harshit, with the new CX Hub, will there be a new app for Freshdesk with CX Hub UI for agents? Yes, we already have CX Hub Freshdesk with the new UI, so you can definitely make integration with that. Our support team should be able to help you, or any of our BSG team should be able to help you there. Um Okay. Can users be access to specific campaigns and not all campaigns? When you say users, your sub-users other than the administrator, I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Yes, they should be able to access the only specific campaigns that of your choice. It is completely how you configure the campaigns drop down in your configuration access, as I just showed you. So you should be able to do that. Okay. Now, the most important piece that I wanted to cover, which is this is one part. The Of course, you should definitely go through the documentation. So what we will do is post the webinar today. Again, just like a similar process previously, we will have a masterclass, webinar updated into this particular documentation portal. So you will have access to all what we just talked now, and all the information on this particular documentation portal, including integrations. We also have video libraries of how you should you can refer to this on how to access something, how to save something, how to quickly do something. Probably these are questions that have came up because people are not used to this newer experience, so we've added this video library guide as well. Quick start guide, again, this is one stop place. You should have this. We also have videos recorded into this. So all the information on this documentation portal is referring to only this newer interface, uh, all the options corresponding to this newer interface only. So you will not have any information corresponding to this particular interface and options there, right? So do access this, do go through this. We have a lot of information we are actually updating. Just keep watching for these cloud agent releases. You will have updates on when is the last release that we've updated, what are we doing, and things, and APIs as well. I think you did have communications received from us that in the month of October and November. I think there were subsequent communications in December as well, that we are actually deprecating some of our older APIs because of technology upgrade. We if you look at any of the documentation here in the APIs, this clearly mentions that this API will be deprecated by the end of this year, and we've given to access the newer APIs. So do use upgrade to this newer APIs. If you have to reach out to your CRM teams, if you have to reach out to your internal technology teams, get these APIs, newer APIs integrated into your systems, so that you don't lose support, because these older APIs that we have mentioned here, we will have an end of life support after this year. Any issues that arise on those APIs will not be supported, and anything on the newer APIs, obviously, you can, if you are facing any sort of issues, you can definitely raise a ticket with us, and we should be able to get back to you. Now, the most important piece, which is the action plan. Now that we've covered what is this one CXI platform, why are we doing this in the context, and the third point, before we conclude this meeting today, is what are the action plan that is important from your end. As I told you, this interface that is on your screen here, this will be deprecated, end of life support, by March 31st, 2025. So if you have, I would say, please initiate any of your internal training sessions with your teams or required members. Inform the business leaders and operational heads to make this transition, to help us make this transition smoother. The reason we are asking this, as I mentioned, and I'll iterate it again, is all the newer products and any sort of upgrades that we are making will only be applicable and will only be added and supported in the newer interface. You've already had an opportunity cost of 1 year in the entire 2024 if you haven't used the newer interface, and all of these at no cost, because it's the same cost. We are not increasing any cost for this. It's just a user experience change, and we wanted to standardize and bring completely into a multi-product ecosystem. That is where our one CXI platform will come into is coming into picture. Okay, no newer updates. As I told you, we've already stopped updates in the month of November 2023, which is last year. You already did not use 1 year worth of newer upgrades and features that we've done. um, Also, do reach out to Saransh if you're not getting any sort of communications from us, because we keep sending updates about our newer releases and newer features once in 2 months, which is our usual release timelines. But if you're not getting it, do reach out to Saransh and Amir, and they should be able to help with the ensuring that the communication reaches out to you next time. Okay, so any sort of support and issues raised after March 31st, 2025, we would not be able to support that. You have to start moving into CX Hub, and any issues in CX Hub, obviously it will follow the same life cycle currently that is being followed. Now, I know, I can understand moving is not just simple straight away move. There are a lot of infrastructure and logistical changes that you need to accommodate, and hence, as I told you, we do have video libraries mentioned here. We do have the entire documentation in this portal that you can go through. Apart from that, uh, we do have live training sessions that we are doing. So we have a transition team in place. They are doing weekly training sessions specifically on the newer UI adoption. So you can join those meetings, coordinate with Saransh. He should be able to give the logistical details to join that meeting. Once you join the meeting, once you get a hang of it, you can start your process of moving your businesses, processes, and people into the newer interface. All right. I We have some webinars in place as well, as we go through in next year as well, to ensure that all of the customers are well aware of why we are doing this, how what are we doing, and how are we doing this transition. So you can join the webinar as well. Saran should be the point of contact for anything with any issues or any information updates with respect to this particular adoption to the newer interface. Makes it much easier, and he will coordinate internally with the corresponding and respective teams in case you are facing any issues.
Yeah, thanks, Pranay. So, team, I'll share the logistical details of the training sessions and the video library docs and everything with each and every one of you. And you'll have my email ID, you'll have my contact details. Any issue related to the adoption of the new UI, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll help you, and I'll also redirect you to the respective teams, right? Uh, just one more thing. I think Pranay has already covered. Just one point which remains is on the API changes, if any required. So if you can just clear that out as well, Pranay.
Yeah. So I mean, there should not be any API changes as such. So our backend system still remains, our core backend system still remains the same. There is no change in that backend system. So if you're assuming that this will be like a migration that we did earlier this year for some of our customers to move to this interface, it is not that. you are just using a different user experience. All the functionalities, in fact, you will get lot more added functionalities at your existing cost. And so API integrations should not be an issue. Only thing that you have to be aware of the APIs is, as I told you, in the API documentation portal, you have specific list of APIs where which will get deprecated. So just ensure that if you are using those specific APIs, you upgrade to the latest ones. Apart from that, there is not much changes. One point to note, however, though, is if you do have custom CRM integrations, do raise it out as a do shout out to the account manager and somebody, and we should be able to take care of, our internal team should be able to take care to the process of helping you with the same integration in CX Hub as well. Otherwise, any standard integrations, any standard CRM integrations that we did in the older interface, or rather the existing interface, should be applicable, should be up and running even in the newer interface as well.
Right. Thanks, Pranay. Uh, I don't think we have any more questions in chat or in the Q&A board. Please feel free to post your questions right now, or you can always reach out to me. You can reach out to Amir, you can reach out to Pranay with your questions. But in case there are any questions right now, please feel free to post it. And I believe we are good. There's nothing more from our end to be sharing with you. So, in case there are no further questions, we would then like to wrap this session up.
Okay, Nirag, we have our in-house CRM integration with the older interface. I was told by your support team that we just need to change the URL to get it integrated with the new UI. Is it the only thing we need to do? Our toolbar as well, Nirag, it's the toolbar functionality still remain the same. And as they said, it should mostly be the URL change that should happen. In fact, we did this for other customers also. You can definitely reach out to Dev. I think you might already be in Dev. If there are any hiccups, we should be able to quickly jump and get them resolved. But short answer to your question, should not be more than that. As I told you, right, if there are any customized CRM integrations that we specifically did apart from the standard offerings, that is when I want you guys to probably be a little more upfront, give us time and reach out to the respective account managers or Sarans or anybody. We should be able to figure that out, but otherwise it is just a shift in the interface things. So you should definitely receive a lot more emails from us about what we are doing. Amir and Saransh are sending out these product updates newsletters to the respective audience about what we are trying to do in what we have done in the last quarter or so. So you should get that updates so that you could use those features and do utilize that, because we are actually doing a lot faster releases when compared to our previous releases. So you will have a lot more features that we are adding into the product as we go through, and all our newer products will also be embedded into this.
Right. I guess there are no more questions. So thanks everybody for joining in. Thank you so much, Pranay. Uh, and I'll be, for everybody's reference, please keep an eye on the emails. We'll be communicating a lot via emails going forward, also through webinars and live sessions as well. So please keep an eye on that, and please feel free to reach out in case of any questions, any queries, any concerns. We're always there to help you. So thanks everyone. Thank you so much, and have a lovely Christmas and a wonderful New Year. And thanks for joining in.
Thank you, Saransh. I think we should upload this into our documentation portal.
We'll do that. I'll do that.